Let's see wherever it goes.
Ready?
Let's do it.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode with the Four Elements podcast. And today we're talking about spirit guides, mediumistic experiences, telepathy, and all the weird and wonderful roller coaster
well, wherever the rabbit hole
bits
takes
it
us.
takes us. Yeah.
Can I just say, I love your reading with Mother.
That's my telephone voice.
Bedtime stories with me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, am I sitting comfortably?
Right, spirit guides, let's go.
That was alright, innit? That was alright.
Yeah, I love it.
We like that. That's good. Spirit guides. Who's kicking us off?
Wow.
Go on, sweary Mary.
Sweary Mary, we've got to talk
Got
about
to start
Sweary
with
Mary.
that. Start with.
Okay, so for those of you guys that have come to my theatre shows or my stage shows, you probably will be familiar with Sweary Mary. If you're not, get your tickets booked. Come to one of our shows.
Cheeky
And
plug.
That's the best way to feel
Link
the
is in the
experience.
bio.
Yeah. But no, let's talk Sweary Mary. So like probably quite a few years ago, but I want to say like maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I was linking with this guy through meditation, and she's from the Titanic era. I don't think she was like a heavily featured person or of authority or character. She was just, you know, herself, kind of, you know, within the elite club. She's in the sort of higher rankings. She's a like short little dumpy lady, fabulous, swears like a trooper, hence why we call her Sweary Mary. Anyway, she is really cool, and I was linking with her for quite a time, and then my friend Debs Ty Duck, who's a spiritual medium, who some of you may follow or know, she was starting to get into portraiture, so spirit guide portraits, and she said, oh, can I do you a practice portrait? And I said, yeah, sure. So she actually drew me Mary.
Drew you Sweary Mary.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow,
she
that's
presented
really cool.
her, and she like had all this stuff on the back, and she put in there, well, she's a little bit sweary, she does this, she does that, she's quite an outspoken lady. And I just laughed, and she said, oh, does it resonate? And I said, yeah. I said, I've already been linking with her, I've already sort of seen her quite a bit. And she's like, well, she's coming in to kick your ass and really give you that confidence boost to do not just your shows, but to take them into theatres. And it was at that point that I had this kind of gear shift in meditation, where she said, no one's going to come and like give you an opportunity. If you want to be in theatres, you have to make that happen. And so literally from that point, I was like, right, I'm going to contact a few theatres. And she kind of gave me that permission, I suppose, to sort of like, you're allowed to have this experience. You can do what you want. You've earned your stripes. Your mediumship is at that point where you can take it into that space. Because, you know, I've had some really amazing mentors and people, but I've also had another cluster that haven't liked my light shining quite bright. And I think that sometimes can be quite hard as a medium, because, you know, it takes years for you to feel secure in your craft and your ability, and like seconds for someone to sort of take it away. And, you know, and I have kind of really battled with that behind the scenes. But yeah, this Mary was like, don't worry about all that. This is where you are now. This is sort of what's coming in. So she's kind of worked with me ever since on the stage shows. And so sometimes she will just hold the space. Sometimes if I struggle to get a direct link from a family member, she will be that middle person. So it almost be like their family member will talk to Sweary Mary, and then Mary will come in and give me the evidence. So it's kind of a little bit, I suppose, like a conversation, but a bit like Chinese whispers, and having to sort of like carry on the message and everything, you know. But yeah, she's pretty cool. So I've had other guides that have sort of been around and they've played their part, but she's really been the most colourful, and I always describe her as a bit of a she's like a mix between sort of Joan Rivers with Lady
Diva.
Savage.
Yeah.
You know,
Get that fan out.
Yeah, she is. She's proper
Diva.
she is. But in a fun way, you know, and she never ever means anything derogatory. She comes in with so much heart, so much love. She might sometimes seem a bit aggressive, but there's real merit to her work, you know. So yeah, she's my main guide at the moment. And yeah, she's pretty cool. She doesn't really work with me when I do the private readings, and when I do stuff in here or in other places on a one-to-one. That's a different guide. So that's a guy called Albert, who's like an older gentleman, bit of like a grandfather figure, and he's been with me right from the start up until sort of present day. But when it's the stage stuff, we go into a different character. And it's interesting, you guys said earlier, you've got Mitch that we know, and then there's a stage Mitch.
And there's
You sort of were saying.
Yeah,
that.
there's Diva Mitch.
And Diva Mitch, and then there's Mitch for Sweary Mary.
So so she kind of brings that more, I suppose, that more larger than life side of it out, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's cool. But that's my kind of experience.
That's cool.
What's yours then, guys? Would
Thomas.
you say?
Thomas.
Thomas suggested the
So-
spirit guide conversation.
Yeah,
didn't
so
you?
we're gonna throw it back at you.
I think if we check the audio, it was Baxter came up with it, but you know.
Yeah, either way.
Okay.
You're
So-
back.
Look at him batting that
Yeah,
ball.
yeah. We're on to you, Thomas.
So,
Was it you? Was it? Sorry, that was my
No, anyway,
fault.
So
chuck
at
chuck
the,
everybody under the bus.
Yeah, don't worry.
towards the start, there was a oh my god, come on, brain, words.
It's alright, take your time.
There was a male guide. It was really weird. His name didn't match where he came from particularly. He came from Egypt, but his name was more like further east. Like
Okay.
I think it was kind of double barreled. Or it was two. We never quite knew if it was two different ones or like a long one, something like Abdul Muhammad or something like that.
Oh.
So it was a bit further, more eastern name than his.
But it's quite
Where
cool
it's
just to
from.
get a name.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Sometimes you don't even
I
get a
don't
name.
have a name for mine.
And he used to come in a lot, and he was very sort of big, strong energy. He was always wrapped in like this like bright cloak, which is where for quite a long time I wore a pendant that was a scarab that had a piece of lapis in the back of it,
Nice.
Oh, okay.
which is where that came from. And I haven't really linked in with him as much, but I'm sure he's still around. And I mean,
How old was this guy?
I don't think we ever quite got like a time.
What would you put
It
him
was-
as?
More towards ancient Egypt kind of time.
Okay. How
That's
old was
cool.
he? Like, would you say?
Oh,
Was he-
You're asking questions for things I didn't like lean into.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
like,
No, don't worry.
there's a guy here.
He's
no,
just there. He's just
I
a
was
guy.
wondering if
He's
it
just
was
an
hot, that was
Egyptian
all.
guy.
I remember he had a very like already quite dark skin, but then further sort of almost like tanned in the sun,
Old, young?
like kind of a 40
It's
middle
not a
agey kind
dating
of
show,
thing.
Mitch.
I need to know these things.
But you know, he was sort of around. Do you remember when we did like the mediumship evening on Zoom?
Oh, yeah.
It was really weird. I almost had like two sort of systems going on. He was kind of bringing things in, but then I had this other energy. I think at the time it was like more sort of Hecate energy that was almost like reaching over my shoulder and pointing at people on the thing of where I was going.
That's cool.
But he was kind of bringing the information in.
I forgot we did the Zoom one. That was, yeah, because that was your own mediumship experience. wasn't it? Yeah.
But I haven't linked with him as much recently, but I'm sure he's still kicking around.
Next time, age, dates,
Location.
CV.
Love that.
And
Work
then
status.
sort of the main sort of guy that I work with at the moment, it was really interesting. It's a bit unique. I wish I could just speak normally. That'd be fucking mint.
Don't worry.
So I picked up on this like spirit, and I always say she, but it's more of like a nature spirit kind of elemental energy. So
that's
I'm,
Cool.
and originally it started off with I would always walk quite a lot of sheer water, you know, the
Love
lake.
sheer water.
And originally it started off as just this kind of figure in the trees with. It's really weird because she has like antlers. That's when I realised that's not like a human spirit.
Yeah.
And she'd just be sort of in the distance in the trees, sort of watching, sort of slowly would come closer, and then it became that actually she was with me outside of sheer water
Yeah.
and things like that. And that's the guide I kind of linked with the most when we did like that experiment of like trying to bring in like a guide from us, like the kind of trance kind of thing. That's the one that came forward, and that's the sort of guide that sort of comes in when I do the tarot and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
And
That's
sort
cool.
of whenever I ask for a guide, I always think like, oh, I wonder who's going to come forward. I already
We
know.
know exactly.
I already know. And the interesting thing with that is, I've sort of asked Mum about it because Mum's a bit more sort of experienced like mediumship and that kind of thing, and she always thinks the kind of thing it was kind of came from like the Hecate side getting sent forwards, and it almost feels like, you know, you have that sort of force off to one side that's kind of like by the side, but then the guide's the one that comes in a lot closer, and that kind of sort of energy. But yeah, that's kind of
That's
Oh,
cool.
That's cool.
what's going on.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a bit herny.
Yeah.
It's a bit
Yes.
sort of green man-y hern type thing.
Is that why
going
when
on
you
there.
took me to the woods that day, that we had that particular
Different podcast.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
That's wanky
for this mythical tarot deck, when I was doing that, you had a specific spot.
Yeah, and you're saying, yeah.
I don't know the timeline on it. It might have been.
Sure. We'll say yeah.
Yeah, we'll say yes.
It just looked right, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So that's cool. That's cool.
What about you, Bex?
I want to hear about yours. You've got a whole collection. You've got a collection, haven't you?
Oh, I have got a collection. How do you know I got a collection? Hang on a minute. Yeah, I have a collection.
Get the Rolodex out.
Yeah, it is. You know, hang on a minute. I need what for that? Talking about CVs and things. So yeah, obviously in a previous podcast we were talking about Merlin, who then changed to Gandalf, which I always get a niggly feeling when I refer to him as that, because that's not who he is. So it's just to give people a visual of what he possibly looks like, so that people get an idea. I have tried and sat and asked for his name, but it never comes forward, or it seems really unpronounceable. So I haven't really gone with chasing it.
Long way back.
I just haven't even gone with trying to even try and put any name to it. So that hasn't gone any further. So obviously there's Merlin / Gandalf, and then I get hissed at. And then I've had varying other little bits and pieces coming in. So there's Jazzy, who many people know, actually did used to read cards, and she did a past life regression, which was we're talking about in a previous podcast, pivotal moments. She did about a past life of me. Ironically, I found out this lady's name is a Mary, and my best mate, everybody knows, to M as well. She's got a past life lady called Anne. And we found that actually the village that we live in, there was a Mary and Anne very closely connected, which is weird. So that was quite cool. Anyway, so Mary, which is past life me, I think. And when Jazzy was doing a reading, she turned around and said, "Well, in this past life," she said, "you're getting giggled at because you were a lot taller. You've shrunk through the time." So, but again, very much recluse type person, and she is with me the majority of the time, whether I'm there we go.
Flashed you on the first
obviously more animated.
Just saying.
No ball went off. But yeah, she is with me the majority of the time. So whenever I'm working, whether I'm crafting, creating, making aura sprays, doing Herbie pillow bags, putting an intention out there, as you know, as we go along, you'll discover how we all work, and I'm not free, so there's not always rhyming stuff. But she's always there, and even more so when people mention baby witch. They sit there and say they're a baby witch. She snarls in my ear and gets very passionate about it, because she feels that they're putting themselves down, and she hates that. There's very much standing for who you are and remembering who you are. And that, don't put yourself down, but she was a recluse that lived in the woods, that took herself away because she knew she was in the point where what she was making, she would be prosecuted and persecuted. So she took herself away. And I've always had that feeling when I've sat and asked, why did you recluse yourself in the woods? Because she knew she'd be prosecuted for what she said. Oh, and the legs have gone funny again. So so I've had those, and weirdly enough, I've had two. Not that I've met them yet, but that's not to say I'm not going to meet them. But I actually think it's my other half. So I have had two separate spirit paintings done. One by Peter John.
Oh yeah.
And one by Patrick Gamble, and they both look like my other half.
Oh, really?
So Patrick Gamble, he's very Lawrence of Arabia, with that sort of headband and that the moustache beard, goatee beard thing going on, and the same sort of look. It's the same shape of eyes. And then Patrick then did a picture of a gentleman who he done him in blue and white stripes, so very sailory. But he got the idea if he was possibly Spanish. Again, same eyes, same face shape, goatee. My other half's surname, they apparently in previous generations actually came over from Spain. Oh. So they were Spanish.
Some sort of history link there.
So I think my guides are him.
How weird.
And your other half is quite hot. Just like I feel like I'm a man eater on this episode.
Oh, wow.
But again, he's somebody I feel very comfortable with. And sometimes, I mean, even my grandson, my youngest grandson, has turned around and gone, Nana, why have you got a picture of Ampy on the wall?
Oh,
You know, why is
they can
Ampy up
see
there?
it,
And
yeah.
they can see it in
Yeah,
him.
they
And when
can
I
see
put
the
the two
likeness.
photos, the two drawings underneath each other, and then I look at him and I go, yeah, bloody hell, that's
see it.
that's quite scary. So, and then I've had things like I've had readings with Mitch, and then I've Anubis, which is a gatekeeper.
Which is weird because I don't really work with the deity, so to bring that in,
and you,
weird,
you said I can see him, and then when I had a look, actually that moment in time, I'd had someone queued me up to go and do a house clearance.
Oh, okay.
So that was really interesting. Someone said, "Can you come and?" There's something not quite right in the house, and me and Em went in and just settled things down, opened doors, let them go.
Yeah.
Rose quartz, cleaned it all up. But that was moment of the time of being a gatekeeper, which is quite interesting. I've had quite a few people say, "Oh, do you gatekeep?" Since then. So I think there's an amalgamation. Again, there's a team behind everybody, isn't there? But you have that one prominent one that my Mary isn't sweary. she just gets quite about baby witch.
Passionate.
Yeah,
definitely.
What about you, Bex?
I've only got one. I don't know her name. She came through when I obviously started the mediumship journey thing. I didn't even know what they were. Didn't even know what a spirit guide was. Didn't know anything about it. And my, I guess you call it teacher, tutor, whatever it was, Gloria, who's fantastic, still about doing her thing, bless her. We kind of had in one of our sessions where we kind of go in on ourselves and find our spirit guide. And this one person, and since then always comes up, always resonates. She's this little, don't know how to describe her other than like a little Russian babushka sort of thing, and it was just like, I was like, how random, how weird, like why, because obviously I didn't understand it. And digging deeper now, apparently, my maiden name is Kazan, and Kazan is apparently linked to Russia, so...
Oh, so Baba Yaga.
So I don't know what time frame she's in. She's not rich, she's not fancy, she's just a straight talking babushka lady with her scarf on her head, and she's my height. She's probably me in the future, I'll be honest with you. Coming back, and just like pissed off at the world, and just says, no, this is how you do it. A bit like Sweary Mary, but just not so sweary, but just more of a shut up and get on with it.
But they do, don't they? They want to kind of give us that little bit of a shake if we need it.
You sure she doesn't live in a house with chicken legs?
Maybe. I haven't asked her. I'll ask her next time.
Ask her and say, you sure you're not Baba Yaga?
It might, you never know, but I've never really had a name, nothing. She's just always there. I always see her when I need to and stuff like that. I can't understand. She doesn't talk. Can't understand what she's saying.
You just get feelings of her.
It's almost like I know what she's saying.
It's like a telepathic.
Weird, isn't it? Yeah, it's so weird. So she's
really
cool. Sorry,
interesting.
not as long as a Rolodex as you, but just one little babushka. Looking after me.
I was going to say, so it's been questioned before, are spirit guides actually that, or is it kind of other types of collective energy? Because I think with the spirit guide, they come through in a safe way for us to identify. So with your Merlin, he comes through as Merlin for you. Could he be somebody completely different for somebody
another
else?
person?
Possibly. I mean, thinking of obviously borrowing him from my mum. I'm not quite. She'd never spoken about him, so I'm not quite sure how I could borrow him from my mum and him come through the same. So, but quite rightly so, I think there's also the possibility of that soul energy, that feeling could then interpret into somebody else. So if I saw him as Merlin, you might see him as somebody else.
So in theory, could my Sweary Mary also be your Merlin?
Well, or my Mary, depending.
It's interesting, isn't it?
But just
that's
obviously
a
the
bit
way
of a headfuck,
knows that you would probably resonate more with the sweary side of things.
I have no
you
idea
would be
why.
more tame and more like, you never know.
Not so much effing and jeffing. But there is always that possibility, because there's also that thing where people talk about when you work on a mediumship level, when you're talking about, you know, things are shown to you what you recognise. So you're talking about the mediumship level and how things will be shown to you what you can relate to then translate and transmit your information that you're being given as well.
Yeah.
So how do you guys all come across all your spirit guides? You know, because some people get but some people in the spiritual world get very wrapped up in this, and especially new people coming along, or not wrong terminology, not new people refinding their path, let's put it like that. And some people feel as though you have to sit in meditation and you have to hum a ma and you have to do it this and this way, otherwise you don't see your spirit guide. And then a lot of people panic because, one, they haven't got enough, or they don't get one, or they can't find the name. So how have you guys stumbled across your spirit guides?
I think for me, well, my first earliest memories of my spirit guide, so I used to always have this old gentleman lingering around me, and he first showed up, I think I've told the story before, but so he first showed up for me in a maths class, and I was really shit at maths. I was in the bottom group. It was just not good for me. And I always remember there was this teacher, you know, she was okay and everything else, and then there was this other person sitting in the chair, and he hadn't been introduced. And I said to the people near me, why is this other person not been introduced? And then I realised no one could see him, except me. And then he was just always around, never interfering, never sort of really talking to me, but just always watching like some little perv in the corner.
Whoa, why'd you point at me then? What was that? Hand gesture towards me.
And then I just felt like over time, I think he is a guide. At first I thought, is he my granddad? But I don't think he was. I feel he is my my guide. And then I just became kind of comfortable and okay with him looking in and being around and everything, you know. So that's how he evolved, I suppose, into my acceptance.
So
for
he's
spirit.
always around.
Yeah, he's always
cool.
Yeah, he's always there, or like not always directly in my eye shot, but I can feel like even as we're talking now, I can know that he's down the corridor, just watching, just checking in, sort of thing, you know. Whereas like with Swearing Mary, she won't really come in now unless I'm doing a stage or a platform show. She knows that's the time she comes in. She doesn't really need to be there otherwise, you know. Or occasionally, if I'm having a bad day, she might just pop in and sort of give me a bit of an affirmation, or just agree.
Just swear at you.
Yeah.
No, or just if I'm having a stressful day with Paul, she might say, "Yeah, he is a twat in that situation," or whatever it might be. That's just an example. But yeah. So I have meditated to form a deeper bond, but you don't necessarily need to, I suppose. And I think it's a bit like when you're saying, how would you like talk to a guide or get to know a guide? How do you get to make a friend?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, isn't it?
Have a chat.
Yeah, have a chat. You know, it doesn't have to be this whole big song and dance sort of situation. You know, I just feel it's like, you know, you just put that energy out.
Yeah. What about you, Bex?
So I obviously found her in a meditation, like meditative state, and yeah, she's just kind of always there when I do readings, which is a rare occasion now. I don't do that, but she always used to be when I did readings and things. But
did you go through a stage of doing a lot of readings?
Yeah. I was I say like you, I was never on stage or anything like that. I never got that far. I don't think I ever would. But like readings at houses and things like that, I used to do that back in the day. And yeah, so she was always around for that. Like I say, I didn't even know it existed. It was only like when I was learning on my journey and stuff like that. And it was only through meditation that I found her. And yeah, now she's just there. And like you say, almost when you need them, she'll arrive. But like, yeah, I don't really like go out of my way. Sometimes, like, you know, when you go like for like sound, like, you know, sound bath, or like, you know, go into meditative state, she'll be there. And yeah, but other than that, I don't really, you know.
It's almost just like holding the space.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like she's just there when I need her, or when she needs me.
So you found sort of yours through meditative.
Yeah.
You sort of were aware because you saw them first.
Well, yeah, they sort of like chose me.
Yeah.
No, I think they just sort of hooked in. But I think also they came into my life physically because, you know, I was understanding my sexuality, surviving like being a kid, because, you know, my sort of school days were rough. I went through like a stage where I just did not speak. I just would like the whole probably
I
like
can't believe that.
yeah most of my
That would shock a lot of people.
They're the nicest ways.
literally most of my college days I was just mute because I thought
Oh.
people don't want to fucking hear what I have to say because I was bullied that much, you know, because being gay was in a small town was such a taboo, you know, and obviously with a high voice you can't hide it and everything, so you have to embrace it. So yeah, so that's one of the reasons I moved to London at a very young age, you know, just to sort of like escape, discover myself. That's where I met Paul and everything. That's where I did my share sort of stuff, and that all happened. Oh, that's my stomach.
It's my spirit guide.
No, but I think he was just very accepting of me always, and was like, you can be you. You don't have to be this other version that everyone else is wanting you, because it felt a bit like these people wanted the version of me that they wanted, and because I didn't fit that, I was no good. Not so much my parents. My dad struggled a little bit, you know, with my ways, and still does a little bit, you know. But we've got an understanding now. But teachers, like all the teachers thought, like, oh, you know, head in the clouds, you're never going to amount to anything.
Oh, I hate that.
I was like proper written off.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay. So, but I felt like none of this is going to matter, like further on down the road. And I haven't really used any of that stuff, you know.
No, life in general, isn't it? And Thomas, what about you?
So, the first guide, the Egyptian guy,
who I think we've established was quite hot. I've been doing some tuning into that.
I love that.
So that was very much like some mum picked up on through like a reading, and that came from there. And then this elemental just very much came in and like a case of like found me. And the thing is, I think it'd be easy for people to be like, no, you've like made that up, because you know there are things in like media, artwork and stuff that match that kind of description, but it was so clear in my head. And when I had seen things that it wasn't in my head, it just came out of nowhere. I was like, in the back of my head, I was like, there's someone over there waving at me, man. And then I sort of like tried to actually sort of pick up on it. I was like, the person over there has fucking antlers. What the fuck, man? And then it just sort of came closer, and it just went from there. And it's just very much it's sort of come forwards that way. I mean, I know it's not like something I've made up, because other people have picked up on it. And then when we did that thing I was mentioning earlier of like trying to bring in like a guide close to like a like introduction to like trance mediumship thing, I saw it so clearly. I was like, okay, I know this is what's going on. But yeah.
That's cool. That's a bit like with my guy who I think is called Albert, or I've associated as Albert, like when I was a kid. And as a kid, yeah, people they write you off a lot saying like, oh, well, it's just in your head, it's an imagination thing. But I know I saw him crystal clear. And so it's interesting you saying that you had that same. And I think it's sometimes quite insulting when people just try and
brush it off,
palm it off. It's almost like you're trying to sort of like almost take away someone's experience a little bit, really.
And look, at the end of the day, if that's who you need to understand what the hell is going on in your head, then absolutely, who cares what anyone else thinks?
Absolutely.
You know, so
another experience I've had, I wouldn't say this is a guide, but this is a weird experience I had, which I always remember so clearly, which again I have talked about before. When I was young, it was at Christmas time. I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I remember we were going to go and pick my nan up because she would always come up for Christmas. This was Mum's mum. I opened the door to go and get in the car ready, and literally there was this little dwarf just in front of me on the doorstep. And I was like, okay. And he had like all like the little woolly sort of hat and everything else. You could see like the sort of like woolly clothing and the little pixie ears.
Well, like a little Snow White.
Yeah, like a proper little dwarfy type. And I was like,
I want one.
I want one of those.
And I was like, huh? And then like literally I went to talk to him, and he just ran away. And we had these big fern trees at the sort of like top of our drive at the time, and you could actually go inside them. And he ran around the edge of the tree, went inside, so I followed him in. There's only one way in, and he just vanished.
Oh,
and I said,
so cool.
And I said to my like mum and dad about it, and like my dad was like, oh, what are you talking about? Very dismissive, wouldn't have it. And my mum was like, because I thought she'd almost hired someone to like, because it was Christmas time and everything. I said, oh, who was the dwarf that you hired? She's like, what are you on about? And I said, literally. And I told her the experience, and she said, well, I haven't seen it for myself, but I believe you. Because I was quite freaked out by it, because it was weird. And she's like, I know you wouldn't lie about it. So because we've got that bond, I mean, you guys have seen me and my mum, you know, we're quite real with each other. And she's like, I know you wouldn't lie about that. So, yeah, that still fucks me up to this day, though, because I was like, who was it? What did they want? Did I do a time slip?
Play with you.
I was going to say, it's just perhaps it was a portal in the trees. You just don't know.
Maybe
Elementals.
How old were you? Were you young?
8 or 9.
Maybe you were going to be a changeling.
I don't know.
Who's going to take
come
you into
away,
the
human
tree?
child.
There we go. We didn't look at it that way. This cute little dwarf running around a tree trying to take you in.
Come away, human child.
Chasing the men at a young age. I don't know.
Yeah, you in it. He's fit. That's what it is. He's fit in his woolly cloak. Let's go.
Let's follow him. Oh, it's Christmas. Father Christmas might have left one behind.
But it was just weird. It was just so weird. But I can remember it like so strong in my mind's eye now.
Have you not had anything spirit like that?
Not like that ever again. I mean, I've had like when I've gone into the woods, I felt like tree spirits and like elementals, but nothing like that.
Perhaps it was because perhaps the elementals have changed, but obviously, as we know, we were talking earlier on about things changing so that you understood them. Perhaps that was an elemental energy, but changed into gnome form because of the fact that you could understand that.
Maybe. It was just a head fuck, and it still fucks me up now. I would love to be able to go back now and just revisit that at a slower pace, you know?
Yeah. Funny, isn't it?
It's really weird.
Very strange. I forgot what the original question was. Finding your guides, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, my.
Oh, there's some food over there. I've just been sort of like
somebody's
waving
food.
Is there?
Or drinks or something.
Is that my husband being absolute legend? Bless him.
Bring them through.
That's one way to stop chatting in the middle of it. So what was so I didn't so my because I think I posed that question, didn't I? So finding mine, where were we? So Merlin, I was
sort of appeared.
He appeared when my mum was doing my feet in reflexology, which was then I was sort of in a meditative state, because I must admit I'm terrible, but then I also know that you don't always have to sit in Hamama in a meditative state to have meditation, as long as you quiet your brain. So even like things like I forgot what I read something somewhere said, but if you're hanging out the washing or doing the washing up, you can have a 5-minute, 2-minute meditation.
Well, I think like a dog walk is a meditation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I often go off and I think, what the fuck did we get in?
Hang on a minute, how do we do this? But absolutely, I mean, everyone always hears about me mucking out the ponies, but again,
that's
something I do, or my
safe space,
and general
shut off your mind.
And general everyday work as well. Because I do things like clean houses, you do these things on automatic pilot. So that to me is whilst a lot of people think, it's boring, well, I suppose because it is boring, I do switch off. You go into automatic mode. Merlin Gandalf was found when my mum was doing reflexology, and then Mary, really strangely, she's, I don't know, she just appeared, and with Jazz pointing her out, knowing she was there was quite something else. It's just like, oh, okay. Oh, right, okay, you're there. And then furthering questions, like you say, asking who she is, and then she had a name, and then the name felt really comfortable, and it's sort of
building up that connection, isn't it, really? Building up identity. What's your thoughts on, so it's been suggested.
Yeah, we keep going off on that.
Here we go.
Bringing this in.
Brace yourself, buttercup. Here we go.
Put your seatbelt on, let's go.
It's been suggested that with mediumship, some people think perhaps it's not spirit at all, and that maybe it's more of a telepathic thing. So for instance, say if you were coming to a show of mine or a medium's or whoever, and you get a message, it's been suggested that it isn't spirit, it's maybe you sending the thoughts out and the medium picking up on that psychically.
I mean, I think that's an art form in itself, regardless of what the hell. Do you know what I mean? Regardless of the situation. But I think.
I'll tell you what I think.
I think it's a crock of shit. And I think, obviously, going back in the day where they used to do is it cold reading?
Yeah.
It's obviously a thing but I think, I'll be honest, okay, so I'm chirping it now because I'm standing there protecting. No. Don't come for my friend, man. No, I think the shit that you come out with, whether it's in a private reading, whether it's just our day-to-day conversations, or in a show, and just generally people, because I've had readings from a fair amount of people. I've worked with a lot of readers, mediums, all this stuff. Some of the shit they come out with is you can't.
Very generic.
You
exactly. You could generically fit it to anything.
And I understand that.
Yeah.
If that is what the show is about, where it's like, there's a man here, and then someone's like me, everyone's half the room's like me. Yeah, I've lost a man in my life. You, on the other hand, so Kelv, you don't believe in anything to do with reading, don't believe in any, he's like, yeah, whatever. You swayed him at your shows. Jesus, that was, honestly, that was weird. Like, he came up with so much detail, you can't dispute it. And it wasn't even like just one instance. It was like boom, 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 wasn't it? And again, like you say, you get some that are absolute, you know, kind of a bit,
debatable.
Yeah. So I can understand why people question it. 100%. I've been to
you wouldn't be human if you didn't. If you
exactly,
didn't
and that's valid.
Absolutely
valid.
Yeah.
Like everything should be questioned, but I just think that open mind thing should really stay there.
When
and
you
not
can't
just
find,
shut it off.
You can't find it. Like on your shows, you don't. I mean, you know, we've all had that conversation. You don't mic up.
No.
You don't put a thingy on there
because
of the fact that people... You always have a handheld mic so that you're not mic'd up, so that you can't be... Somebody go, oh, you're being fed information. But then you think of the crowds that you know, even if just 20 people in the audience, even if you had someone on a backstory going around getting information from Facebook, stalking 20 members of the... I mean, how can you stalk 20 members of a gallery? You know,
and also, if you know me, I wouldn't be able to retain it.
You always say I'm too lazy
for that. You'd have a running order that was
Yeah.
like 25 pages long, and you'd have to keep flipping over trying to find that person.
But I get it even like with your
audience.
bookings in the shop. The amount of times people go like, I don't want to leave my full name. I'm like, you don't have to. I don't want your full name. I don't need it.
Given
Yeah,
an
literally,
alias,
when I
it
come
doesn't
in,
matter.
I'll just have like first names on a bit of skanky paper. And
Whoa,
that's the day you're doing that, is it? Sort of
Back of an old envelope, literally.
And sometimes if you get like group readings, it might say Emma just like 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. It's whoever. So with the ones in the shop, for instance, it's whoever books it. All it is like E blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean? Or Emma so and so, and I'm like. Yeah, all I write down is Emma times 3. That's it. Do you know something like that?
Yeah.
Say, for instance, Emma, we don't know who you are, but yeah, you know what I mean?
But also, to go back to what I was saying, I think also that whole idea of this telepathic thing is also quite insulting for audience members, because not even just about the medium, because like a lot of audience members have had their own intimate situations with spirit, and I think to sort of say everyone's sitting there just sending out a thought, that then the medium's like magnetically linking into, I just think that's a little bit degrading to them and their own experiences as well.
If you can imagine, you know, 80 people in an audience all sending out a telepathic thought, how can you
hone in on just that?
It's very hard,
hone in
isn't
on
it?
that, just that one thing.
I mean, to be fair, it kind of is that intuition thing, because they always say if you want to have a reading, think of the person that you'd love to come through. Not saying you're going to be able to pick up a phone and be like, oh, your grandma's here. Like, do you know what I mean? It's that intuition of putting it out there that you'd like to, but you're not going to get that. That's putting it to them. That's putting it up there. That's putting
the energy
out there. That's not putting
energy
it to
in,
you to be like, oh, okay, so you want your grandma? Cool, all right. Like, do you know what I mean?
Of course. And like with the show that we, obviously Thomas recorded last night that I went to, -1, where I was one row behind, still in the right rough area, just the wrong person, Mary was guiding me to every single person that she was meant to go to, and they were all like, yes, it makes sense. And we had some really weird shit coming out last night.
Yeah, because that's another thing I found about yours specifically, because I've been to shows where they're just like, can anyone take a man with the name beginning with C? And like the whole room kind of picks it up, obviously. But you straight away hone in and you're like, coming to you, there's a person here called blah, 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 first, second, last name and everything. He died like this and all this stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's different, completely different show. Genuinely, I know this sounds like a plug, It sounds like a plug.
Plug away.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a plug.
Sorry,
Genuinely.
you pay you later.
No, I know. I need a bigger commission, I think.
But do you know what it is? I made this commitment ages ago in my circle and to spirit, where if I'm going to do it, I want to be not the best, because I don't feel I'm in competition with anyone, but I said I want to be the best for me and to serve spirit the best way I can. And I think that's why I do care. So that is why that question pissed me off so much.
Yeah. And understandably so, because you're secure in what you do. And
but I just feel it's a bit
being
insulting
questioned,
to
being
everyone.
questioned anyway.
You know, like if you went in thinking baked beans, and then like sort of the medium picks up on baked beans.
Yeah,
Maybe,
I'm going to do that
but
next time.
Do you know what I mean?
See if I'm going to prove it wrong.
Yeah.
It just feels like bullshit.
Yeah. Absolute bullshit.
But I get we're all allowed our belief system,
Yeah.
of course. But I'm always of the opinion, don't discredit anything until it can be proved or disproved one way or the other. And with that idea, it's not saying it can be proved or disproved. It's just a theory, isn't it? It's just a theory. And science is just a theory.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I can understand, like, you know, if you didn't, we were talking earlier on about if you didn't question it, you wouldn't be human, would you? So to completely eradicate it's telepathy, it's this, it's that. But I mean, I've seen you come out with things, and I've sat with mediums that have come out with things. I mean, there's one lady many years ago, before Bardwell was on the circuit, I sat with a lady I had a reading with, and she said about my mum being really small when my great granddad passed away in the room next to her. And this lady wouldn't know. Yeah.
How would she know?
How would she know that? How would
and
she?
Were you thinking that at the time?
No.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking anything about my great granddad, and he had COPD, and that's obviously what then sort of, you know, unfortunately finished him off, poor chap. But she also wouldn't have known about my uncle he was a fireman, and he was a wall collapsed on him at work. I mean, that is like proper out there.
Really, yeah.
How can you know? And he had breathing problems. It's like how can you?
That's not exactly like a generic
it's
way.
not like going, I've got someone here as a granddad figure and he's really proud of you. That's very generic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It could be, you could take it either or way. Yeah. There's no way you could do that. And how do we explain that? And I wasn't thinking of my Uncle Stevie or my
exactly.
or my
and you already
granddad.
secure that you weren't sending that out.
No, absolutely. And she picked up on kidney infection. I'd just come out of hospital with a kidney infection, and she said, I've got pains in the lower back. Have you got kidney problems or had kidney problems? And I was just like, and I was at the stage, you know, of like, well, I'm not going to give you anything. Yeah. And I still to this day, sorry if I sit in front of anyone, I still don't give anybody anything. Yeah.
That's the thing. I think if anything, people are more. Yeah. Come on, then.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not quite like that, but I know what you mean.
Some of them are, aren't they? Because I mean, there was a few people in the room last night that were clearly sceptical, and then they had messages, and you could see their thought changing straight away, and it's like they're having that experience.
Up a little bit,
they're having that experience of like, there's something here, this is real, there's something to this. Because there was a couple of like guys that were like, come on then. And you could just see the gear shift. I mean, I had a guy in the audience last night at the show, and I said, and I've got this dog coming in, and I said, it's like a lassie dog. That's quite a Pacific breed. And he was like, yeah, we had about 5 of them. So not just the one, but like that was obviously their favourite breed of dog. And I was like, how would I know that? How do I know that?
It's not something that goes on Facebook, is it? You know.
And also, like, I didn't even know him from Adam, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like...
And I think even if you were working telepathically, I don't think there's any way that you could extract that type of information out of someone's thought pattern. Yeah.
And I think where it gets frustrating for the skeptics is they always say, don't they, well, if you can do that, why can't you pull the bingo numbers?
Oh, I hate that. I hate that. It's like,
But it's intention again, isn't it? Our intentions aren't for profit.
But bingo and lottery numbers are by chance.
Yeah.
That's not, you know, I don't think there's...
I tell you what, though, I am a whiz on a scratch card, though. I genuinely can hone in on which ones to scratch. I'm surprised I'm not
a millionaire.
Not ranking it in.
I am a bit of a whiz on that, I tell you.
This time next year, Rodders.
Yeah.
But I think surely that comes down to intention, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, well, that, again, is probably working with an energy force of something, and the intuition. That's an instinct, intuition.
Yes,
that's the one I'm gonna. It's like picking a crystal.
Yeah.
You know, which one works for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas obviously bingo and lottery numbers are a ratio, aren't they? It's something of, you know, mathematical
and also,
ratio.
I think, like, just with our own mental consciousness, if I didn't feel secure that I genuinely could connect and link with spirit,
You wouldn't be up there.
I wouldn't fucking go up
No.
on a big
No,
stage.
that
put
is a
yourself in a
lot.
position.
I wouldn't put with what happened to my share stuff as well, you know, with a really bad experience.
Yeah, you got history in that.
Yeah, I would never put myself on a big stage if I wasn't secure, because that is just not normal thinking.
Well,
Hey, I don't do what I do. I cold read. I'm going to put myself in a firing line.
Yeah.
Of about 100 odd people
That's
to prove that I am
unhinged.
shit.
It's unhinged. You just wouldn't do it, would you?
No, you wouldn't. You
So
wouldn't.
there has to be, I don't know, it
there's
just
got to be something in
boils
it.
my piss,
The
that
shit
question.
you come out with is just, I'm sorry, but you just can't even.
But not even me, there's so many
No,
other great
that's what I'm
mediums,
saying.
you know?
Just experience, like I say, from you and, like I say, other people. There are a lot of them.
Yeah, there's some really, really
You
cool
can
people.
dispute it, of course, but. Yeah,
But I just find it really difficult to dispute it, because even though obviously all us know how it works, we still don't know how it works.
No.
Do you
But
know?
also,
It's
as
still.
you're saying that, like what annoys me a little bit as well is when people say, "Oh, I've never had spirit," but you have, because you think of us now. Yes, we're physical people, but we're all connecting with the internal spirits of each other.
Yeah.
We have actually known each other's spirits really deeply already,
Yeah.
and that's what we'll connect with, you know, when eventually we leave this earthly place.
But I mean, that you could. I mean, doing on the debunking side, you could say that's your tribe. You see, the one thing, and that, technically speaking, us connecting, that could be energy telepathical levels that we are connecting on.
Yeah.
Because if you think billions of years ago, we didn't have mobile phones, human beings, and I've spoken about this before, have a sixth sense that we've lost.
Yeah.
And that is that telepathical, not necessarily, oh crap, uncle's in trouble, let's all jump on our mammoths and run in that direction. It is the fact that we know when to, but that's in connection with the moon, the cycles. That's also parental side of things, and your tribe. You know when your tribe's in trouble. You know when, because you get that gut instinct feeling. It's like we were talking earlier on in places, which I'm sure we'll cover in a podcast, but feeling at home.
Yeah.
It's like feeling at home with your people, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's not just a comfortable feeling, it's a
like
whole
familiar,
feeling.
Yeah.
It's the feeling of this is I'm home. It's not just a I'm comfortable when
Soul family.
yeah. Not you know, I'm comfortable to sit in a room and fart with people. I'm comfortable.
That's next
literally.
episode.
That's the next
Just us
episode. But that's, do you know what I mean? That's. I think that is slightly on a telepathical level.
Yeah.
I think that's an energy telepathical
I think
level.
souls recognise each other. I think that everyone who's meant to work together and align together are meant to, like I say, like with us working literally down the road.
And all of us, we
like
just
that.
have
and
clicked.
there's things that probably events that I've done that you've probably been at, and
not
we've never even
yeah.
connected. Same with Thomas, things like that. It's all strange. It's all really
I mean,
weird.
people can say, "Oh, that's because you float in those circles," which it could be. There's a you know, there's a ratio.
But even like before us floating in those circles.
Yeah, we had all that crossover stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
weird.
I mean, I always say it's a bit like me, Emma, and Charlene. I mean, we always class ourselves as the weird sisters, but we always know, you know, we'll message and go, "What's up?"
You just know.
What's up? Someone's quiet. What's going on? You know, and we always know that we're there, but we also, all three of us, feel very connected. There's places like Glastonbury Abbey where we just. Yeah, we've all been here. We've all been here before. There's some, you know,
feel at home.
Yeah,
but like also with you, Thomas, you've seen like other mediums as well as me. Because there's I can't remember the name of the lady you've seen, but I know she's a big one in your collection that you enjoy seeing. Remind me what her name is.
Cindy Kaiser.
That's the one. And how does she work? Because I've never seen her.
So, hang on one second. So with Cindy, she very much, it's more the kind of, when she's on stage, because I mean I've seen her do like investigation stuff, which is obviously different.
Okay.
But on stage it was very much, she got people very clearly, but it was more the then search for the person in the room that it fits with.
Okay.
But she was very strict on, if this does not fit, we're out.
Yeah.
And she was like, it has to fit 100%.
Which is nice because that's her boundaries as well.
Exactly.
Isn't it? Yeah.
But it's sort of, I think when it comes to like mediums that I've seen, I think like your show is the most sort of like, you know, I think you described it really well last night. Of like, it's almost like the audience goes dark, and then the sort of one person is where you need to go. And I don't think like there's people that I've seen as much that do it that way.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, you do work differently. Yeah, 100%.
And it is like that, literally, like, because I was saying last night, what happens is the audience does go into like pitch black in my visual, and then someone will light up like a spotlight. So
Really?
and that's how I know I'm going to the person.
That's cool.
You know, but that's Mary doing that, not me, or a collective group of people doing that. And I'm just like, oh, that's where they're guiding me. Okay, there we go, sort of thing. And I think that's taken a long time to build and to trust in that security of like spirit won't let you down. That's the way they work with you, because we've all got like what I call the spirit key, and it's just understanding what that is for each of us, because it'll be different for each of us. You know, some people see, for instance, if you're shown an illness like cancer, for me, if I get a symbol of cancer, it's always black ink going into water.
Really?
That's my symbol if I know it's cancer and it's spread everywhere. But somebody else's version of cancer might be, I've had it before with a student, she used to see black leeches on someone, and that would be her symbol for cancer. So it's different because we're all different personalities.
I feel it, so I'll feel how someone's gone. So I'll get the pain that they feel.
Someone,
That's why I can't do it. That's why I can't give readings, because it actually physically hurts with
See,
how they've passed.
I used to get that, but then I didn't like it, so I said, Spirit, show me a different way.
Oh, so this is it. Maybe that's what I need to change. I mean, I'm not going to do anything with it anyway, but like I said...
You will. Readings in the shop.
No, you're the OG. I ain't going there. I've got enough to deal with putting ink in people and stuff. So it's weird how different people see it and experience it, for sure.
It is, and I think it's all trust, isn't it? It's just being secure enough in you, your own spirit, to then trust the spirit that is working with you and everything, you know.
And I think that's a sign of good mediumship, is when you've got someone that sits there and doesn't try and make something
fit.
think a fit.
Yeah.
You know.
And we had one last night, and like no one could take them, and I felt where I was going. She was adamant no. And I said, I'm not going to waste either of our time. So I actually asked the lady to step back in spirit. And I said, please hold on to it. And if it becomes clear, but I said, at this moment, I'm going to ask for her to step back, because it's just wasting time on my show.
Yeah, you go to someone else.
I know, and me and Thomas were talking about it earlier on, and I said, well, that may well be the fact that lady that's sat there may well have to take that, talk to her friend about it.
Exactly.
And then the friend might be the friend's connection rather than, but hoping that she'll remember, you know, when she goes away from that situation.
Because you do, though, don't you? That's why I quite like, again, with you offer people, if they want to record it, because you know as soon as you've left a private reading, it's all gone.
It's all gone, yeah.
Or if there's something that doesn't add up, you go back and you'll be sat at home and you'll be like, oh shit, yeah, that's what that was. Do you know what I mean? And everyone, because even when I used to do readings, I'd get a message after, be like, okay, well, it's for you, just keep it with you, and you know, whatever. And then I'll get a message afterwards like, oh my god, yeah, I just spoke to Mum about it and they said this, this and this, so it completely makes sense. I'm like, well, at least I gave it. Do you know what I mean? So it's weird, isn't it? But yeah, that's how it is.
It's learning, isn't it, to give the information but not
make it fit.
You do care, but almost not caring in a way, and knowing that this isn't my business. I'm going to give this to you, but it's not my personal business. Yeah, it's like detaching from the message a little bit, but still giving the message. If that makes sense.
It's very interesting, isn't it? The old sort of mediumship and how people look. As I say, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
So are we in agreement that theory has its place and it's there?
Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion.
You've unpicked it now, Matt, I admit. You've sat there and unpacked the whole thing. You've had your therapy time.
Have you got it off your chest?
Have you got it
off my system?
Hey! Yes, no, we're in agreement. That's so funny.
Oh, love it. That was quite amusing.
I think on that place it's quite a good one to end on, maybe.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you ever so much, everybody who's joined us for our Elements podcast.
Number two.
If we play this in order, if not, it could be any order you so wish. Please don't listen to them in order. Just listen to when you want. And hopefully we'll see you again next time on the next podcast. Bye for now.
Bye. If I had a gun, I'd shoot
sun. Love would burn this city down for you. If I had the time, I'd stop the world and make you mine, and every day would stay the same with you. I give you back a dream. I show you now what might have been, if all the tears you cry would fade away. And I'll be by your side when they come to say goodbye. We will live to fight another day. Excuse me if I spoke too soon. My eyes have always followed you round the room, 'cause you're the only God that I will ever need. I'm holding on and waiting for the moment to find me. I didn't speak too soon. My eyes have always followed you round the room, 'cause you're the only God that I will ever need. I'm holding on and waiting for the moment for my heart to be unbroken by the seams. Let me fly you to the moon. My eyes have always followed you round the room, 'cause you're the only God that I will ever need. I'm holding on and waiting for the moment to find me. If I had a gun, I'd shoot a hole into the sun, and love would burn this city down for you.